Yep, so this is a really good day for football because we're very pleased that we'll be announcing the expansion of safe standing at football stadiums. So the Premier League and Championship will all be able to implement safe standing. We've had a trial over the last few months, including here at Spurs, and they've gone well, and so we're confident now that we can roll out safe standing safely. So it's what fans wanted, it was a manifesto commitment, and we are confident, because of the research we've done, that it can be implemented safely. So time's right now to roll it out. Yeah, we've had ongoing engagement with the police actually, even before we started the trials back in January. The police said, look, we've got a concern or here and there. So what we did is change some of the requirements. For example, enhancing CCTV footage, because actually here at the stadium you can see that each of the areas has got a space where there's also a seat. It is absolutely not the old terraces where there was large numbers of people mingling together. So we'll know exactly who's in which space, and then when we've got that combined with the CCTV footage, of course, if there are any problems, then we'll be able to identify exactly where the issues is. So those were the kind of changes that we implemented based on the police advice, and of course we'll always keep consulting with them. You know, broadly, we've had very constructive conversations with them. As I said, actually, we've made changes already. So there's been extensive consultation with them and actually all football stakeholders. And procedurally, actually, it will go through a statutory instrument in Parliament, which will then, you know, effectively change the law and allow this to be extended. So look, we've engaged with lots of stakeholders, including, by the way, importantly, Hillsborough families, because it's really important that we do take everybody's views and opinions on board. As I said, there have been differences of views and opinions, not 100% agreement on doing this, but I think everybody is at least comfortable that we've got measures in place to truly make this safe. One of the problems we've had over the last few years is we've seen incidents of people standing in stadia anyway, surging forward when there's been goals. That is dangerous. So there's been standing in stadia, but it's not been safe, it's not been regulated. So what we're doing is implementing safe standing. It literally is what it says on the tin. Yeah, I think this is the right time, because actually, whilst we have seen an increase in disorder at certain locations, and I am worried about that, and we're talking to the police, the football authorities, and in particular the individual clubs about what they're doing to crack down on that. In terms of the safe standing, it is safe. And actually, as you can see with the design, actually having these barriers in front and behind you actually make it more difficult to, for example, climb over seats and invade the pitch. Actually, it makes it more challenging. Plus the other measures we've got in place, like enhanced CCTV, and actually a code of conduct that actually will be implemented for each of the stadia that accept a safe standing. You know, there's an expectation of fan behaviour as well as actually the logistical challenges, which I think will genuinely enhance it and reduce the chances of pitch invasions, for example. But more broadly on the increase in fan misbehaviour, you know, the fans need to take individual responsibility. They shouldn't be behaving that way, you know, and also with these enhancements in CCTV footage and so on, you know, there's an increased chance of us knowing exactly who's doing it, and we'll be going after them. I want clubs to implement full banning orders and so on as well. But I say we're in discussion with the authorities, because I am concerned about the increase in misbehaviour, because we want clubs to be a really safe place, a welcoming place. We want stadia to be where all people can come, no matter what their sex, no matter what their age, and enjoy a really positive experience. And some of those images we know will put some people off. That's not good for football. So we need to crack down on this. But I say at heart, it always goes back to individual responsibility. Fans, if you're going to go out, enjoy yourself, but behave. Well, actually, if you look at the physical infrastructure now, there's a less chance of that happening because of these barriers in front and behind than there would be if they weren't there. So again, there will possibly always be, you know, isolated incidents where people are misbehaving in a pretty bad way. But actually, just the physical infrastructure reduces the possibility of that happening rather than enhances it. So again, I'm comfortable that it is genuinely safer than the alternative, which is, you know, people surging either individually or in groups in a way that could cause even more damage.
And
yeah, so clubs need to do several things. Obviously, building the physical infrastructure is one thing once they've got permitted and got licensed. They also need to implement the code of conduct. So they need to communicate to fans saying, look, we've got safe standing, but this is how you need to behave, and this is how we expect you to behave in the stadium. And be aware, there's enhanced CCTV footage. Also, one seat per person and one area per person.